Okay, we are live.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited.
Yes.
Oh, this week, we're gonna just pick up where we left off last week. You know how we started talking about apples, like vinegar and like the.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in the store, and my husband says to me, he's like, "What you know about apple cider vinegar?" And I'm like, what do you mean what I know about it? He's like, you think I should take it? And I'm like, what are you going to take it for? He's like, I don't know. I just seen people saying we should
Is
take
that I don't know why we should take it.
Right. He said, I seen people say like, you should take it in the morning. And I'm like, but for what?
Right. Exactly.
For what? Right. And I'm like, well, if I don't know enough about it, then I'm going to say no. You know what? It's in my cabinet, still unopened. And this was 2 weeks ago, still unopened. Because I'm like,
Mm,
I wouldn't even have made that investment if I didn't know what I was taking it for. But
right, right, right.
luckily for him, his wife is a researcher just by nature. And so, so that's what I did. So I'm like looking at, apple cider vinegar, all these claims that they have out there about it. And so now we're just going to say, okay, what's really going on? Is it true? Is it not true? Like, where is this information coming from? So apple cider vinegar, as you know, it starts from apples, right? It goes through a very slow fermentation process. And then like, if you're looking at it, it goes through like a two-step process when it's being fermented. You'll see like this like cloudy, like it starts to get a little cloudy. Well, the cloudiness is yeast and bacteria, right? And so you're like, ugh. But that's what they call the mother.
That's the mother. That's what you need.
Yes, that is the mother. It's like buildup of bacteria and yeast. And so that mother is what they say has all like the nutrients and provides all the beneficial ingredients of the apple cider vinegar. So if you see the mother in it, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, it's got to be with the mother. That at
is,
least I know.
Yes, that's the mother. So when you see it cloudy and you see all of that stuff, sometimes you might even see like little sediments. That's fine too. That's all part of the mother, and that's all part of the fermentation process. So I'm like, okay, well, let's look at all these things that they say apple cider vinegar does, right? So, they say it's really good for your hair. Some people say it's like
apple cider vinegar rinses.
Rinse.
You've heard about that. Yep.
And
I think I may have tried that once.
How
I
did it
tried
go?
all the gimmicks. I mean, my hair smelled like vinegar after that, but I think it was a little silky,
Yeah.
like I think I did like the egg white, the cholesterol thing with like
Yes.
the eggs and putting eggs in your hair and apple cider, but all the things. Your hair smells weird after, but it's shiny. Sweet.
Yeah, they have like the mayonnaise, they have the clay, the yolk, there's so many things that people are saying like do the protein, do the this, strip all of this,
make a little hair smoothie, and
and that's they have those women that have the they have those hair smoothies that have all these things in them, and for some hair types it works, for some hair types it doesn't. But honestly, if you're looking at your hair, it starts with what you put in your body, not necessarily what you're putting on the hair, because hair is just dead. It's dead, right? It's not even living. So it's what you put in your body. Make sure you're hydrated, you're eating a good meals, right? Like nutritious foods. That's
taking them biotin pills.
The hair, skin, and nail, right?
The hair, skin, and nails.
Yes,
y'all know what I'm talking about. But biotin is in your multivitamin too, though, so you ain't even got to go crazy with that.
You don't, and it's only so much that your body needs. Anything other than that, it gets rid of because it's excess. It's like, okay, what is 400% gonna do? Absolutely nothing, because beyond 100%,
you're peeing it out.
Yes. So then there's that, right? So then they say like, apple cider vinegar has like antimicrobial or antibacterial properties. And that actually came from a study where they had apple cider vinegar in a test tube, and it had like E. coli in it. And they found that it actually, that and Staphylococcus aureus, which is on, bacteria that we have.
Yeah.
And it killed it. So it was a study in a lab that they just put it in a test tube, and then they tested it, and it killed the bacteria.
Oh,
cool.
So okay.
One of the claims.
Apple cider vinegar for your skin and digestive infections.
Yes,
okay,
right.
Good to know. Should have done this research last month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But see, now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know, right? And then they say like, it's good for digestion. Like it moves foods along, it has prebiotic, probiotic. They have that debate going on. And then some people say it lowers your cholesterol. Sometimes they say it's good for weight loss. Sometimes they say it's good for sugar control. Right?
And there's studies that are confirming these claims or debunking. Okay.
We're going to get to that. So more specifically, I will say the apple cider vinegar, like that whole market is projected to reach 782 million by 2028. Apple cider vinegar.
Wow.
Almost $1 billion.
Wow.
And that has been catapulted over the recent couple years with all of this marketing.
Marketing, yes.
Marketing. And so they have like these apple cider vinegar gummies, and they're supposed to help with weight loss. Okay. Well, let me tell you. So in I don't even know if I want to get to that. All right, I'm gonna get to that. Ooh, so in 2009.
Yeah, girl, let's get into it.
2009, there was a trial, right? The trial looked at only obese Japanese participants. It was only Japanese participants, right?
Okay, that's not a diverse.
It wasn't diverse at all.
Yeah,
it wasn't diverse at all. So it's a randomized controlled double-blind study, which is the top tier of studies, right? So the people taking, they don't know what they're getting. So they all had like a 500 ml drink that they had to drink throughout the day. But within that 500 mLs, one group received 30 milliliters of acetic acid, which is the component of apple cider vinegar. So you have 30 milliliters, you have 15 milliliters, and 0. That's the control, the placebo. Gotcha. And so they found that after the 12 weeks, the people that had the 30 milliliters of acetic acid and 15 milliliters of acetic acid did have a significant drop in waist circumference and weight.
Okay.
After 12 weeks, right?
Get your pen and your papers out. Okay.
But the thing is, the diet in Japan, the foods that they eat in Japan, all the other factors are different than they are over here. But people don't see, they don't know that. They just say, oh, well, the studies show. Well, yeah, it was this study that showed.
Right.
This study.
But look at what they're eating, the food culture and all that.
There's other things that we need to consider. So to go from one study over here that had only Japanese obese participants to say, okay, now in America, where there's a multitude of different nationalities in this bunch.
High fat, high fry, everything is just high on the bad end of what's good for you over here.
It's different. So it's
different. You're so kind. You're so kind. It's different. It is different. You're right about that.
So if
not
you
to argue with you there.
It's different, right? That's my nice way of saying, when things are right. It's different. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if it's accurate to take that one study of that very homogeneous population and then come over here and say, look what we have. See, it works. And that was after 12 weeks, and 15 mLs and 30 mLs. And so it's like, who's drinking 30 milliliters of apple cider vinegar a day?
And that was 30 milliliters out of 50 milliliters.
No, the whole thing was 500. The whole drink was 5. You have to dilute. Oh, I'll get into that.
Yeah.
So the whole drink was 500 milliliters.
Okay.
And throughout the day, they drank that jug of 500 milliliters. But within that 500 milliliters, there was either 30 milliliters of acetic acid or 15 milliliters of acetic acid. And then the other ones had 0 because it was placebo.
Got it. So 500 milliliters is the same as like a half a liter.
Yeah. Half a liter.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to put it in perspective because I'm like, you over here talking about this, and I need to know what that actually means.
Yes, it's a half a liter.
Okay. And then cups. 2 cups.
Okay. So there are Okay, 8 ounces. Oh, don't get me
I mean,
started.
I'm on Google right here. Wait, hold on.
I'm like, don't get me started
No,
with these conversions,
about
right?
about 2 cups, a little bit over 2 cups. It's 16.9 fluid ounces. There's about 8 fluid ounces in a cup. And
Yep.
then when it says like US legal cup, 2.083 repeating.
Oof.
That's not even that much. You know, when you
No.
put it like that, like you say 500 milliliters, that sounds like a whole bunch.
So they drank that, and then there was like within it was either 30 milliliters of acetic acid or 15 or 0, right? And so I don't think that that's accurate to now take it over here. But with great marketing, people get these apple cider gummies and thinking, oh, I just take 2 of these a day or 4. I don't even know what the dosing is of those, because I'm going to get into those in a little bit and how those are not really what people think they are. Mm-hmm. And they've had studies to show, like they've actually dissected these things, broke them down and said, oh, wow, this is how much acetic acid is in it. Because the acetic acid is the component that, you know, of the apple cider vinegar that we want.
Right.
Okay. So we know that it may or may not help with our weight on this side of the world. All right. Okay. Well, what about blood sugar, right? Because I don't know if you've ever heard, like sometimes it does help reduce your blood sugar, like for patients that have like insulin sensitivity, right?
Okay.
Well, that actually is true.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they found that it actually has anti-glycemic properties, which just means it helps with your glucose, right? Nice. And so it helps regulate your blood glucose, but it's only your with high carb meals. So anything over, I think it was like 50 grams of carbs or more. And it's only your postprandial glucose level. So your postprandial glucose level is just a fancy word of just saying your glucose after you eat.
Okay.
Postprandial is after the meal.
After you eat. So you have to eat a bunch of carbs, 50 grams at least, and then you can take your apple cider vinegar and it'll help reduce.
You take the apple cider vinegar before you take that. Before you eat that meal, and then your glucose after that meal goes down. And they came up with this research by looking at all the studies conducted between 1995 and 2018 that looked at apple cider vinegar and its effects on your blood glucose, right? And so all of those studies, they reviewed them all and they were all in alignment and agreed that yes, it does lower your postprandial glucose levels. But it's only a short-term thing. None of them looked at, okay, for an extended period of time, for 6 months, we're going to see, does it bring it down? No, these were all very short, acute trials. Like, okay, for 1 month, we're going to see if your blood glucose is lower after taking, you know, your apple cider vinegar. So it's only, it only works acutely. And there's nothing to say chronically if you do that.
It's going to work over time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too, right? Like my thought is that just in my head right now is, if somebody were to say, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in my pre-meal drink every time I have a meal. Now I'm thinking that would lower, like if they just made that a habit, then that would maybe lower it if they were to do that. I don't know, just my hypothesis, right? Like just my hypothesis.
I could see it, right? But like our bodies are amazing at adapting to things, right?
Yeah.
And so you also have to remember, when you are doing something chronically, your body will either upregulate or downregulate a lot of receptors, a lot of things going on in the body. And so none of them have looked at it chronically to see what's being upregulated, what's being downregulated.
So like if you're doing that, you better continue to do that, because you don't know what your body's going to do after you come off of that regimen.
Your body could be like, oh, well, I have this to help with the blood glucose, so I no longer need to produce this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it might take a little bit longer for your body to rev up and be like, oh, wait a minute. I need you. Come back.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
So yes, it does help postprandial glucose levels. But it wasn't we don't know what the data says over a long period of time of doing that.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, and they don't even know by what mechanism, right? So they say it could help with the alpha amylase action, that's just a fancy enzyme that breaks down the starches into little glucose.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
fancy. They say it could increase your glucose uptake, meaning your muscles are opening up and they're taking in the glucose. So now it's not in your blood. Or they say it's like mediated by transcription factors. Who knows? They don't know.
Still figuring it out.
And so that's another thing, right? So if you don't know by what mechanism it's happening, you don't know what's going to happen long term. Now, if they would have said, okay, yeah, we know that it increases your glucose uptake. Now I know I have more receptors for glucose if I take this, but we don't know that.
Gotcha.
So I just, don't use that as your only means of controlling your blood glucose, especially if have a condition where you have an insulin sensitivity or, something like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend that. And then they also say that apple cider vinegar, right? They say take it on an empty. Don't take it on an empty stomach. But there have been claims that say you take it on an empty stomach. It's supposed to get your digestive tract going. Don't do that.
They be doing the little shots, not diluting it, messing up their esophagus.
And their teeth. Yep.
Yeah, messing up the teeth.
Yes. So don't do that. That's a no-no.
That's very dangerous. And I think people don't understand like the dangers, especially the long-term implications of that can lead to some things that we really don't want.
No. So who wants teeth with no enamel? Who wants an esophagus that's all the way eroded down? Like,
right,
you can't, it's not going to function how it's supposed to. And then how are you going to be taking your food in?
Yeah, intravenously. Let's not do that.
The G
through the stomach. Yeah, exactly. So
feeds. So I don't suggest you take those shots of apple cider vinegar on an empty stomach. Apple cider vinegar, when you take it, should always be diluted with something. You can dilute it in water. You can make like a little, tea with a little bit of honey in it if you want to, just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some warm water, a little honey in there. You can do it as a dressing, mix it with your dressing for your salad.
Oh yeah, I like it like that.
Yeah, like
with the dressing. Yeah. Ooh,
but do not
dressing
and drink it. That's bad. That's bad for your teeth. That's bad for your esophagus. It's just all bad.
And it doesn't taste good either. I've done it before, before I was educated. On that. So like years ago, I mean, and I like I said, I've tried just about every gimmick, going back to, my days of being unhealthy in my eating or not eating and all that stuff. But I definitely have been like, okay, let me take this shot here. Let me take this shot here. And, and you learn real quick, like, nah, I don't know if this is like the thing.
This ain't it. There has to be a different way.
This ain't it. This ain't it. It's not it. Not it.
This is not it. So of all the claims, I mean, it does do, it lowers the blood glucose. It does do that. It does have the microbial or antibacterial properties. But I will say, when you look at the commercials for the gummies, there was like a, research that they're doing, because like I said, this market is projected to reach $780 million within the next 5 years. Right. So they did a test of all the products that are on the market that are apple cider vinegar tablets and or gummies, right?
Okay.
And so the main ingredient that they're looking at is the acetic acid, because remember that's the part
that's the one we want.
Well, some of them had as little as 1%. 1%.
Wow.
1% of acetic acid. And then the max was 10.57%.
And the rest of it is what?
Fillers.
Whatever
the filler is, to give it a taste, to give it a color, to give it a whatever, just a filler.
Oh my gosh.
So,
oh my gosh.
They said in the US, right? Because we're this consumer whatever, there is no legal or like law defining how much apple cider vinegar has to be in it for it to have that label of apple cider vinegar blah. There is no standard, basically. There's no standard.
Just a little drop of it, and they can get that.
You could take your little pipette, boop, we got apple cider vinegar gummies, and just market it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a little scary too, because we talked about that with the labels. When if there is no legal definition of something has to have a certain amount or cannot have more than a certain amount, there's no standard. So any little bit or a lot of it, and you can put that on the label. It is, and there's nothing to say like, you know, like,
and it's legal.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And, you know, like one capsule might have 2%, one might have one might, you don't know. You really don't know. And then you have to be careful. Well, not even be careful, just be aware. When you see on a supplement, anything that says proprietary blend,
yes,
that just means they have to satisfy just one thing to say, you know, it has 1% apple cider vinegar in it. So now I'm going to say these are apple cider vinegar gummies, good for X, Y, and Z. Those claims are not verified. Those claims are not backed by any entity that says, or agency that says, yes, we've checked these have exactly this amount. Look for that little asterisk on the back. And if it says proprietary blend, that means you don't know what else you're getting. You're just getting whatever is in that cocktail.
It's like you're getting what we felt like putting in here. It's none of your business.
Yes. No, that's what it is. And so like proprietary, like a secret recipe. We don't know. Maybe you got 10%, maybe you got 2%. You got something, okay?
Maybe you're changing up the recipe every time you make it.
Yeah. It's proprietary. That means y'all don't know. We know, but you don't know. It's our secret recipe. That's what proprietary is.
Right.
So good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Buy our product.
So yes. So I will just say, do research on the gummies, because
we're not recommending the gummies. That's pretty much
we're not recommending.
We're not recommending. No, me neither. I'm also not recommending the gummies. I'll stand with you on that. Like, no.
You don't know, right? In the law, there is no law that tells you can have 0.01% acetic acid in there and still put apple cider vinegar.
No, get your apple cider vinegar with the mother and put it in some water.
Yes, that's it, right? So I just even put, when you're purchasing, you want to look for raw, organic, unfiltered, and unpasteurized. That's the most purest form. But the thing is, if you're getting unpasteurized, you should not take that when you're pregnant. Because unpasteurized means it didn't go through that process of killing off any maybe harmful bacteria. So with the mother, you're getting all that bacteria. But when you're pregnant, you have to be careful with consuming things that are unpasteurized. So if you are a pregnant woman and you want to take apple cider vinegar, you do want something that is pasteurized, but always, always, always consult your physician or your OBGYN or your midwife before you consume anything, you know, like if it's something new that you're going to. And also, yes, you want it to have the mother, you want it to be intact. That's where all the benefits are. And if you see it, you know, just shake it up a little bit to just disperse it throughout. And, just avoid taking it in its like shot form, like undiluted, right? You want to make sure you dilute it a little bit, because it's bad for your esophagus. It's bad for your teeth. And also, if you're taking more than 8 mLs, which I don't know. If you're taking more than 8 milliliters.
I can do that. Hold on. I'll look it up, because I'm going to try to figure it out. 8 milliliters.
Well, a tablespoon is 15 ml. So if you're doing more than half of a tablespoon, they say that be careful if you're doing that over an extended amount of time, because that could lower your potassium. Yes. So a tablespoon is 15 ml. So if you're doing more than half of a tablespoon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know. It said 0.270512 fluid ounces. I'm like, girl, okay, good. So half a tablespoon. Thank you.
Yes. So you don't need more than that, right? But again, remember the study had them doing 15 milliliters. So they had double what is recommended in the US.
And you said 15 milliliters is 1 tablespoon.
15 ml, right? 1 tablespoon. Yep.
It's 1 tablespoon. So you could do 1 tablespoon but that study, right in my head, just trying to connect it.
The Japanese study. The
Japanese study, one cup, like 1 US cup of 8 fluid ounces or so.
Yep.
per 1 tablespoon of apple
Yep.
cider vinegar. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
You know, because I'm not the only one that's like,
You're-
what does this look like
Yeah.
in our language?
Yeah, I gotta turn it off. But you're right, because in the US we don't count in milliliters. We're usually in ounces.
We're the only ones that don't count this way, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool, America. It's cool. I'm I'm with you on that too. That's why we're working it out together. Like, okay,
Yeah, we
girl,
gotta
put
bust
it-
out them calculators sometimes. Like, okay,
right,
now
like I'm
what-
on Google, like, okay, liters to milliliters and
what is the conversion? Like, what is the conversion factor? How do I go from this to this? But yes.
Geez, it's a whole math equation. It's like too
Just
much
a
to
little
be
bit.
doing.
All you
A
need
little
is a
bit.
little bit. Just a little bit a day.
Just a little bit.
Little
Just
bit
a
more.
little bit.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to say. I have an article that I want the community to look at. I don't know, but I have access to PubMed, but I don't
Okay.
know if
If you link it, if it'll.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll see.
Well,
it might just.
I don't know. Probably not though. Not if you have to put in like your username
Credentials.
and password and credentials and all that stuff. It's like likely not going to be able to go through.
Okay, so I'll see. I'll look for another one that has make a summary of the study. I'll see if I can find one that just has a summary.
Unless you can download it, or if you can make it a photo and then put it as a photo. But yeah, okay, you figure it out and put it in the community so people can read the article. Okay,
so
good.
if they want to read the study.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to read it because you know why? Because everybody, you're right. For the past few years, everybody's been apple cider vinegar this, apple cider vinegar that. Let me lose some weight and not have to do no work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants the shortcut. It's like, if you want to know how you can do this without ruining your teeth and your esophagus.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I knew there was something else I wanted to tell you.
Okay, what happened? We got time.
They did do a study in the US, and it found that after 3 months of taking the shots of apple cider vinegar, after 3 months, the average weight loss was 3.7 pounds.
Oh, girl, that ain't nothing.
In 3 months. That
ain't nothing. 3 months, 3 pounds, 1 pound per month. There are much more effective ways to be losing some weight. You could be losing 3 pounds a week.
And doing it a healthy way.
Or 3 pounds a month and not having to change too much. You can do that without ruining your mouth and digestive tract.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put that one in there because when I saw that, I was like, what?
Put that in because it ain't even worth the time of day for all of that. Like, okay, it's a little boost, but definitely not your first, your first go-to. Is not the first line of action on the weight loss journey, right? So little plug, if you want to know more about that and you haven't joined our Dollar Growth Club, get in it and holla at your girl. And also, talking about that, you're going to want to go to the Grow Healthier plan. Those of you who are in the Dollar Growth Club, if you want more on that, consider the Grow Healthier plan if you're not already on that track, because we're talking about really how do you get into the best possible body that you can be in, and that includes having a healthy weight. Whether or not that means that you need to gain weight or you need to lose weight, if you need to gain muscle, or if you need to get your inner self right and get off of some medication or get to a healthier place, like all of those things. So quick plug there, because y'all have no reason to be wondering, how do I lose some excess fat? We got answers for you. Point blank, period.
Apple vinegar is not the answer. Not 3 pounds.
Answer.
3.7.
No, that's not worth it at all.
Not at all.
It's not worth it at all.
You're not even gonna notice that.
It's got nice taste when you're doing the homemade dressings. Like I said, I like it there. You want to add it if it. We should be talking about though. One of these days is sea moss. Can we do that? Because that's another one that's been everybody and their grandma. Oh, you want sea moss? Or we could
do sea moss next week.
Okay, because right, is that not trending?
We could do sea moss. It's so trending that I got some before and I liked it.
It doesn't taste bad. I've tried it too. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's trending don't mean we don't try it. But
I tried and I got
yeah.
the gel. It was passion fruit flavored. I got two actually. I got mango and passion fruit, and passion fruit was really good.
Okay. Well, let's dig into
Yep. We
sea
will.
moss next week. All
Yep, we will.
right, because I want to know what myths can we be debunking.
You know what? From what I have researched of it, sea moss is actually really good.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like good, it is good for our bodies.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, we'll dig into it.
We will.
We'll dig into it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So any last things that you wanted to touch on or anything, any homework or whatever? Is the homework just for them to read the article?
Read the study. Yeah, read the study. But also if you have these products in your house, specifically the gummies, read the label for yourself. Just and actually read it and look to see. Don't read on the front where everything is in big weight loss or whatever claim it has on. Don't read that. Look on the back and see exactly what's in there. And if you see proprietary anything, good luck.
And scan that QR code. If they got that little smart nutrition label, you better scan that thing. Get you a smartphone somewhere, scan it and see what's in there.
Absolutely.
Because that's the new wave.
That gives you more information, but they don't think people actually will go and look. Most people don't. Most people don't. Because it's an extra step.
We know better. In this community, we know better.
We know where to look.
We're going to do it. We know where to look. We know how to look.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know?
All right, lady.
All right, girl. Have a good one. Thank you so much, Dr. Ness. And happy physical wellness.
Yeah, thank you. It's Monday. It's a great day. It's a great day.
It is.
It's a great day.
Thank you. Amen. All right, y'all. Be good.
All righty, y'all.
Be well.
Take care, y'all.